Universal Orlando Resort in Florida is known to be a great place for families and thrill seekers of all ages. The resort currently consists of 2 theme parks, Universal Studios and Universal's Islands of Adventure. Recently, I was lucky enough to visit both Universal parks and was able to ride every roller coaster there. In this video, I will be ranking all 8 roller coasters in both parks from worst to best. Keep in mind that this is my opinion, and while objective facts can contribute to one's assessment of a ride, ranking roller coasters is subjective and depends on the individual. Anyways, on to the ranking. Number 8, the Woody Woodpecker Nut House Coaster. This small coaster is more intended for young children, and it really doesn't have all that much to offer. You really don't feel anything at all throughout the ride's short drop in elements. It does have some decent theming, being based around the cartoon character Woody Woodpecker, but it certainly isn't as in-depth as much as Universal's other rides and coasters. Woody Woodpecker's laugh also plays as each cart reaches the top of the drive tire lift hill, which I'm not sure if that was funny or annoying. Number 7, Flight of the Hippogriff, another Vekoma kiddie coaster. This ride is a little more forceful than the Nut House coaster, and in my opinion has a slightly more original theme, being themed to handling and riding a hippogriff as seen in Harry Potter. Again, the theming is pretty rudimentary in comparison to other Universal rides. However, there is an animatronic of a hippogriff before the tire drive lift and the hippogriff-themed carts. The main thing that made me put this higher than the Woody Woodpecker Nut House coaster is that the ride is surprisingly forceful, at least for a kiddie coaster. I would recommend this ride to any younger potential thrill seeker. Number 6, the Incredible Hulk Coaster. This B&M launch coaster in Islands of Adventure has guests restrained via hard over the shoulder restraint, and that is the sole reason why I have it listed so low. Even though the ride is decently themed, pleasing to look at, and boasts a great layout with tons of inversions, the headbanging against the harder restraints made the ride almost unbearable. I only rode it once, so it is possible that I just got a bad ride on it, but the uncomfortableness of the restraints really subtracts from what would otherwise be a great ride. However, I did like the final corkscrew that you go through right after the brake run. It was a nice conclusion to the ride, and I like inversions that go slower because you have more time to actually comprehend that you are being flipped upside down. While Hulk is far from the worst coaster ever, it definitely was the lowest of the thrill rides here in my opinion. The ride operator did compliment my Skyrush t-shirt from Hershey Park while I was exiting the ride though, which was pretty cool, but unrelated to the ride experience. Number 5, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. While this ride is very well themed, it was lacking everywhere else. The ride's plot was hard to follow and went all over the place without really achieving anything. The 3D effects were very cool, but nothing special in comparison to other Universal rides. While it is a very enjoyable combination of 3D effects and roller coaster, and I would recommend it to any Harry Potter fan, it doesn't have any redeeming factors that boost it up on the list. Number 4, Revenge of the Mummy, a combination of both dark ride and roller coaster. This ride is very well themed and has some surprisingly intense parts in comparison to Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. The ride's plot is interesting and flows with the ride experience very well. I liked the fake ending. Even though I could only ride this once, it was still very memorable and unique. Number 3, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. A lot of people say that this ride is rough and has a rattle, and while that's true to an extent, it is not bad enough to affect the ride experience. The lap bars eliminate headbanging, making the roughness much less noticeable than on the Incredible Hulk coaster. The main reason why I like this coaster so much is because it is very unique. The vertical lift hill is very fun, and the unique non-inverting loop adds variety to the ride. Yes, there are a lot of brake runs, but I personally think that they help the ride by not only allowing more carts to run safely, but you also get a nice pop of airtime going into the brake runs, and they help break up the rougher parts of the ride. Being able to choose the ride soundtrack is the main thing that makes this ride fun and unique. Listening to Rainbow Connection on this thing is both enjoyable and hilarious. The ride is also very pretty at night, with lights both on the vertical lift hill and the carts. Number 2, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. The lines for this thing are as abnormally long as its name, but it sure is worth it. The ride is a highly themed adventure through the Forbidden Forest. It features on-ride audio, animatronics, and even special ride vehicles themed to Hagrid's motorbike. For being a family ride, some of the launches have a surprising amount of kick to them. The backward section into the drop track was also very fun and thrilling. Even though the wait times are extremely long, this ride is definitely worth checking out. The ride is so memorable, unique, and fun. Even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, you will probably still love this ride. I would recommend it to anyone. Finally, number 1, the Jurassic World Velocicoaster. This is not only my favorite ride in the Universal parks, but also my favorite roller coaster overall at the time I'm making this video. The theming and intensity are both through the roof. My formal favorite roller coaster, Skyrush, is great solely because it has amazing ejector airtime. However, the Velocicoaster does so much more than that. Even the queue on its own is the best I've experienced at an amusement park. There's statues, video effects, and even animatronics. The ride uses a single lap bar to keep riders in the ride, and it is one of the most comfortable restraints on a roller coaster that I've experienced. It being a lap bar eliminates any possible headbanging and makes you feel open and free. It also feels very snug against you without killing any airtime. The ride itself starts out with video and sound effects of the raptors from the Jurassic World series on either side of you. The train then launches. In the first half of the ride, you go through a dive loop and twist around with some mild near-miss elements with the surrounding scenery. Then you go into the second launch with a rolling start, which is super intense, and ascend the ride's top hat. You get so much airtime on the top of that thing no matter where you are sitting on the cart, and you really get flung from your seat during the descent. The ride then goes directly into a zero-G stall, which is stunning to both ride and watch from below. The ride ends off with an amazing heartline roll, nicknamed the Mosasaurus roll, which goes over the water. You really get flung out of your seat during this incredible inversion. From start to finish, this roller coaster is amazing, with great theming, restraints, airtime, inversions, speed, and smoothness. It is safe to say that the Jurassic World Velocicoaster is the best coaster at the Universal Orlando Resort. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you would like to see more roller coaster related content. If you've been to the Universal parks, what was your favorite roller coaster? I am also going to hopefully make a ranking video for Hershey Park after Wildcats Revenge opens and I can get a ride on it. Anyways, bye for now, and remember, guy is a gender neutral term.